Welcome to the Audible as we have our Senior Bowl update. Sigmund Bloom here driving because Cecil Lammey's on assignment. Sometimes that means that we don't get graced with the presence of our various Audible personalities, but we do get Cecil. The assignment is the Senior Bowl. And Cecil, let's go ahead and start with the topic that's going to be on everyone's mind in the draft, in free agency, and of course, throughout the season, quarterback. Are there any quarterbacks that are showing out in a way that are making you pay closer attention at the Senior Bowl this week?
Yeah, unfortunately, no. What we're seeing is a tumble in draft stock, in my opinion. Combine medicals will be big for Michael Penix. So first, let's start with him because Michael Penix has two bum shoulders and two bum knees. That's a problem when you're a quarterback. And this last season for Washington, I believe he was sacked 9 or 11 times, whatever the number is, wasn't sacked much. Got to the game against Michigan, was under duress the whole time, had 3 injuries in that game. So being next to Michael Penix this week, and I was as close as you and I are in our heart, Bloom,
Yeah,
for Michael
yeah,
Penix just
yeah.
today and at media night, and he's skinny. Like, I know skinny. This dude is skinny. His lower body is frail, and that's a dangerous combination. Now, there have been some work ethic concerns. That was part of the Shrine Game recap. Like, hey, I heard some stuff, and it's not real good for Michael Penix. And then you go out there on the field, and it's like, if this was a 7-on-7 league, he would be a Hall of Famer. It's not. He's going to get hit when he's pushed off his mark, and the pass rushers are winning time and time again in Mobile. When he's pushed off his mark, all the pass placement, all the great stuff that he does, he has tools. He has first-round tools. But as Scott McLuhan told me years ago, physical stuff is easy to see. So Michael Penix is seeing his draft stock tumble. Fantasy-wise, it'll come down to fit. Bo Nix was the guy entering this week. I thought, maybe we're going to see a little bit something. Maybe Nix can be the guy, and he's the guy after the 3 guys at the top, of course, and Caleb Williams, number 1. Jaden Daniels has leapfrogged Drake May from a lot of evaluators that I talked to. We'll see. It's a personal preference thing. I love Jaden Daniels, so we'll see, if he actually is the number 2 pick instead of the number 3 pick. Rumors say the first 3 teams aren't moving off their pick. Rumors also say the Broncos could move up to number 1. So we'll see about that. Let's put a pin in that. Oh, the telephone game, Bloom. It is alive and
Yeah,
well here in
yeah.
Mobile. But Bo Nix is changing minds and not in a good way. Now I did have almost a Russell Wilson moment with Bo Nix here. It was so cool, dude, because it's
Mm,
like when Russ all puffed up to me and you're like, and I think Matt Waldman fell even more in love with Russell Wilson during that moment. Nick's got a little puffy with me today because I saw him take a hop step multiple times under center. It's one of the most annoying things that I see quarterbacks do that don't take snaps under center is they'll take a little bunny step and then have the kick. You're supposed to have the kick fluidly first and large. You don't get that with a hop step before that. And so I said, hey, what's your comfort level for playing under center? And he just looks at me, 100%.
oh,
Next question.
there you
I was
go.
like,
Well,
okay, I like that. I like that fire, but Bo Nix, not fire on the field. Here's the problem, though, Bloom. You and I
yeah,
have been to so many all-star games with poorly run practices. Now that they have a collection of coaches, not staffs anymore. It used to be like the Lions are
right.
coaching or the Jets are coaching or whoever. Now it's just kind of a collection of guys. Nobody really knows how to run a flip in practice, and there's no standard set for running practice. It's unfortunate. If I have a private audience with Jim Nagy, which I probably will, I'm going to tell him some things that need to change. I got 18 years under my belt, baby. I know what this game should be. You're doing a disservice to the media. You're doing a disservice to the scouts who are in attendance because get this, Bo Nix has not run 7-on-7. A guy's that his game is all about shotgun, timing, get it out of his hand quick, distribute the ball, spread it around the field. All these good things about Bo Nix, we can't see because they don't flip and practice it. Sorry, Joe, I am getting fired up and I'm going to cuss because it's bad for him. Like for him himself, he
Hmm.
would have a much better week if he was able to do the stuff that he does well. He wasn't able to do it. Joe Milton, by the way, don't call him Bazooka Joe because I talked to McAllen Castles, right,
Hmm.
last week at the Shrine Game. Sorry, Bloom, days are running together for me. And his tight end from Tennessee, he said, "Yeah, old Bazooka Joe, we're worried about breaking our fingers. The guy rockets it so far." He told me, one, I don't like being called Bazooka Joe, which is funny. He was playful with me. I really like Milton, but he also said he could throw 85 yards when he was in high school. Incredible rocket arm, zero control. So think of like a Malik Willis type
Yeah,
thing, Willis was down here. He was amazing. Didn't know where it was going. Zero control. Whatever's going to happen with Malik Willis, we don't know. But Milton is the other one that stands out to me. And then Michael Pratt from Tulane, got some
Yeah.
love for Tulane. And the Broncos have talked to him twice already. It's Wednesday when we're recording this. You're watching it on Thursday, everybody. Like, comment, share, subscribe. It's odd. You talked to a guy twice already. Anyway, he's probably the most consistent here. He's just not overwhelming with his physical tools.
Physical tools are what the NFL likes at running back. However, running backs that stay in school until their senior year maybe don't have the elite physical tools, but they do have polish. They have experiences. And while this might be a running back class, this is a running back class that lacks that marquee running back, that running back that we expect to step in and be a starter right away, a running back that's an answer for the foreseeable future for a team. There hopefully are some running backs that if they are called on, that can do something in their rookie year. The name Isaiah Pacheco comes up again. Are there any Senior Bowl running backs that you're watching and you say, okay, he can fit in, he can hold his own, you can see that he's experienced, and that could get him some time next year if his team needs him?
Marshawn Lynch is my president. Marshawn Lloyd is my man crush.
Yeah.
If I ever got a man crush, it would be Marshawn Lloyd. Lloyd, like USC running back, looks fantastic out there as both a runner, no live tackling, but he does a very good job of gathering his feet. He does a very good job of changing direction without losing speed. As a receiver, he's more than fine. I did see him drop one today. I was a little disappointed about that, but it's really pass protection where you see Marshawn Lloyd come through with that size there as well. They got him listed at what? 5'9", 217. So, good, solid running back. He's been fantastic. The guy that I think has taken NFL Network by storm, because I see my Twitter mentions, it's Rasheen Ali from Marshall. He's looking real good. 5'11", 203. So a little bit more dynamic in terms of space movement and creating his own space. He does the dead leg thing. I think Emmitt Smith was probably the last back to do that really well, where you give him the leg and you take it away. Backs will try it, but they shouldn't. Ali is one of those players that does it and does it well, so he's looking very impressive there as well. I don't mind Isaiah Davis, but I want to talk more about Ray Davis, Kentucky running back, 5'8", 220. So that tells you the size, the bowling ball, the burst. You get something there with Ray Davis from Kentucky, and always nice to see that shiny helmet run around. But really, for me, it's Marshawn Lloyd, it's Rasheen Ali. These are the two backs taking the Senior Bowl by storm. These are the two backs that'll be fantasy relevant next year. 1,000% fantasy relevant, whether they're starters or part of a rotation.
When we move on to wide receiver, there are some familiar names. And certainly, if you are just watching the social media impressions, one of those familiar names will be McConkey, Lad McConkey. But there's also a McCaffrey. There are more McCaffreys. So, what do we have maybe with these familiar names? Are they striking up familiar images? And who else is worth stealing headlines in Mobile wide receiver?
Luke McCaffrey was in college a little bit longer because he transferred a couple of times, but he played against Liam.
Wow.
That shows you how long ago it's been. But Luke McCaffrey now finally out of college, wide receiver now, not a quarterback anymore. Talked to him today. Really good kid, good possession receiver, and like his dad, he likes doing the tough stuff like digging guys out. McConkey is the name. Everything is the game. Like, he's doing it all. As a slot receiver, you love to see that intent. No live hitting, but there's some thumping, and he'll grab a ball and get thumped and get back up and talk about it. That's what I love about it. It's like he's not just getting hit and then getting back. Like, he'll get knocked down totally by accident, and then he'll get up and jaw a little bit. And I like seeing that. Tez Walker, North Carolina, he didn't have a good day today, but man, he was awesome in the debut on Tuesday. He's got that physical skill set, can make those circus catches seem routine. Certainly turning some heads here as I go further. Brendan Rice, another one. Talked about Taj Washington last week at the Shrine game. Brendan Rice from USC seems to be consistently open, and he's open in the end zone. That's the thing about him, is like he is already showing that nose for the end zone. So you like what you see there. Roman Wilson had a good day here on a Wednesday. The Michigan kid, he's good in terms of run after the catch and kind of using foot frequency to create his own space. If I move to the American roster, Just some notes on some of the wide receivers I have. Jamari Thrash from Louisville. He works really well, but he moves very interesting. And I can't remember the Spartan. I think it was San Jose State. Remember that? Well, David, whatever. And he would like do the jazz hands when he'd make his moves. And you and I saw him at the Senior Bowl. And we're just like, I think Folletti was with us. That's how long ago it was. But whoever the San Jose State receiver was, he'd do like jazz hands. And he'd get open. That's Jamari Thrash. He'll do like the little salsa, right? So he's doing the salsa, and it's like nobody's buying it, and then bam, he's open. So I don't know how to explain it, dude, but he's getting open and he's making some big plays, and it's fun to watch the salsa, not in the touchdown dance either. So yeah, I think that's about it. I will throw out some love for Jaquan Jackson, the Tulane kid, as well. He seems to be consistent. Don't know where he'll be drafted. I'm saying day 3, but he's done some things. There's a tight end of note, though, Bloom. Yeah. Well, you want to save it? You want to set me up? You want me to knock it down?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Hey, no. I'm still thinking about. You just had me walking down memory lane at the games, and talking about one of the things I think that when we cover these games, when people write about these games, that I think we spent a lot more time on back then that you don't see as much. That these games, the practices specifically allow, is like you said, like more of a stylistic, aesthetic personality, watching these players one after another. How do you get after the task that is your position? That's why it's so great that they're broken out by positions, and you can watch them in the pit, and you can watch them in backs versus backers and one-on-ones. And it is enjoyable because it is a chance to slow down and get to know the player individually more. And I think watching McConkey reminded me of Danny Amendola. And what I mean by that is just the precision. Like, you can see how advanced the precision is, because there's a lot of guys who can get open in Senior Bowl practices, but it would never work in the NFL because it takes like 3 seconds. But guys that know how to get open right away, that is something we're looking for. And we get to the tight ends. So see, it sounds like maybe one of your most important, or maybe most important players, someone that's captured your fancy the last few days, is a tight end. Who is it?
Yeah, Jared Wiley, TCU kid, 6'6", 253, can run. Looks like a wide receiver. Honestly, when I was watching him, I was like, who's the big wide receiver? He's not. Is it better as a blocker than maybe you would think? Anytime you get a guy that's 6'6", you're going to have some bend issues there. So they'll work on that in a pro system, but you're not drafting Wiley to be a blocker. You're drafting him to be a receiving weapon. That's exactly what he can be. And multiple times I saw him make plays that only wide receivers can make, usually, or, the best tight ends. So he's a weapon. He's got speed. He's got the fact that, I listen for that thwip, Bloom.
Yeah.
He's got that sound with his hands, the strong hands, when he's the ball almost suction cups itself to his gloves. That's what I talk about with the Spider-Man thwip. So Jared Wiley, TCU tight end. He's the one tight end of note. The Michigan kid, I took one good note on, and then he dropped like 3 passes in a row. But anyway, so Wiley is there. And honestly, it's a little average for the 18 years that I've been here. And some years are like this. Some years are the hotness and everybody's Senior Bowl, and here we go, right? And everyone's going. I'm going salsa again. You think I should go dancing tonight, Bloom?
Yeah.
Anyway, I look at it and I go, this year is pretty average. So fantasy GMs out there, we'll be looking at the draft. We might be looking at some other players. These are interesting names to note. But as far as like, I remember him at the Senior Bowl, we'll see. I have some hope for some of these guys, but the quarterbacks have been disappointing. I love Marshawn Lloyd. Ollie's been doing some good things. And then Wiley at tight end. Those have been my favorites so far.
Okay, well, I got you. We're winding up here. But, this is great, Cecil. I get to interview you. I don't ever usually... When's the last time I get to be here in the host seat and you're the analyst and I just get to toss you questions? Tell me someone fun or interesting that you ran into today.
Oh, boy. Let's see. I ran into someone who cuts up film for John Gruden.
Ooh.
Who still is consulting with teams.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm...
He might be down here. He may be part of the New Orleans staff soon.
Right.
For all we know.
Right. I don't know if I'm supposed to say the team, so I just won't.
Yeah. That's okay.
But when you run into basically Gruden's right-hand man, and you hear about Kirk Cousins coming to see him and Carson Wentz coming to see him, and all these quarterbacks still coming to Jameis Winston still comes to see him. There's still those fingerprints there. We'll save what we think about his emails for another show, but it's like, one, he's not the only one. The
Oh,
NFL is pretty backwards in a lot of ways. This is a
yeah.
larger conversation than we have time for right now, Bloom. But like, just know Gruden's fingerprints are still on this league, and they are desired by the best teams. Again, I won't give it away, but two of the best teams worked with him. Hey,
Yeah.
take a look at these guys. Hey, tell me what you think of these guys. So yeah, it's still there.
Yeah. Folletti and I rode an elevator with Gruden in New York. The draft must have been 09, 08. I don't know. I know that it is 2024. It is the Senior Bowl. It is Cecil Lammey from Mobile. It is football, guys. Thank you for all the love out there, everybody. And thank you. You're still with us because we still care about football and we're still paying attention to everything that's going on. We're going to break it down for you, always a football guys, because we love you. Because you are so classy.